Hey, Nirvana. Hey, Jay. Hey, J-Dot. Hey, Hot Sauce. Hey, Kelly. Hey, Fiza. Elizabeth, this is a visual novel. And sorry, everybody, just give me one more moment here. There we go. Hey, Google user. Aw. What's wrong, Google user? Hey, Zach. Hey, Blue Kitty. Hey. I'm not showing up, am I? My dinner was, just chicken fingers. There I am. I didn't even notice. I didn't notice that I wasn't on. That my camera wasn't working. I didn't notice that my camera hadn't turned on. Here I am, and here she is. And there she goes, with ketchup, barbecue sauce. Hey, Agatha. Hi, Feeder. Care to settle down? Because we have Jay. At the very end of the the summer of being 13. Hey, Backrooms. The very last day of summer of age 13. Hey, Boozin. Cove, freak the hell out about it. You know, Casey, I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying to give you patents. I'm trying to give you attention. She just wants her temptations. She just wants her tantalizing turkey. Nachos? Maybe at some point. Yeah, I can maybe try to do nachos at some point in the future. Hey, Andromeda. Throw pies? Probably not backrooms. We probably won't be able to throw a pie at him. But, hey, you never know. On a side note, I totally forgot to monetize this last week. Rainbow cake for dessert? Nice. I like rainbow cake. Yeah, last week I played this for like 3 hours for nothing. Boozing? It's always small whenever I am doing a game. It is small for the same reason that my Mass Effect videos sometimes get like 125 viewers, one of them recently got. $114 for another one. People just aren't interested in my in me as a gamer. Boozing. They're just not interested in watching gaming shit on my channel. Naked Twister will bring in the views. Naked Twister would get me kicked off of YouTube. Making OnlyFans now. I am not really interested in showing my body to people. One of those liminal space horror games. I will pass on horror, booze, and I'm just not into horror. Alright, I need to refill my water, so I will be back in just a... God, Casey, you horny bitch! I'll be back in just a moment. You're not getting treats. No treats right now, you desperate junkie. No! No, go to bed. Go sleep. Go sleep off your withdrawals. Sleep off your withdrawals, you desperate junkie bitch. Casey had gone to the hut. Like, Casey had gone to lay down in the hut. And then, as soon as I turned to start to stand up, she came out like, meow. treats? Friggin' junkie. She is such an addict. Always someone that stinks at Walmart, so not particularly. Alright, go back to your hut. If you're not going to stay in my lap for pettins, you can go sleep. Because you know what you're not getting? Treats. No more treats right now, Casey. Later. I'll give you more treats later. I'll give you more treats later, but not right now, okay? You need to learn what not right now means. Hi, honey bunny. Swear, even look at her and she's like, treats? More treats for me, please? No more treats for you right now. A couple hours. I'll give you more treats in a couple more hours. Just wait a couple hours, okay, Casey? Just a couple hours. I'll give you treats when I finish my stream. So it'll be like 9:30, 10 o'clock that I'll give you some treats. 9:30. I'll give you treats at 9:30, okay? 9:30. I will give you treats at 9:30. Just wait 2 hours. Literally 2 hours. She's not going to want to wait the 2 hours. Hey, Nicole. Alright, so we are now 18 years old. And... yeah. That all seems fine. Acne. Can give the character, you can give yourself acne now. Not Sims. It's a visual novel, which means it's mostly just static. What a visual novel is, it's sort of primarily static images, and just lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of reading and dialogue. Okay, well. Makes no difference if your lips are thick or thin. But fine, thick lips. Blue nails. You can give your character a headscarf, which is kind of cool. So yeah, if you want your character to be Muslim, then you can do that. Ring, why not? Sandra? Because I probably do, Sandra. I almost certainly have a touch of the autism. This all seems fine to me. No glasses. No earrings. Not like you get to see any of this stuff anyway. You never actually get to see your character's body. You never even get to see your character's face outside this one screen. Hey, Jenna. A touch. I'm a touch touched. In bed after going to the ER in lots of pain. Oof. Was that anything serious, or? I mean, ER, so... ER in lots of pain, so probably kind of serious, but... Feeling better now, Nirvana? Let's get going. Still a relaxed relation, still relaxed comfort. Yeah, to keep the interest at crush for now. Might have to go back to ER tomorrow if it gets worse. Yeah. Alright. Cove customization. Do we want to customize Cove at all, or just leave him as he is regularly? I'm inclined to say neither. I'm inclined to just, you know, let Cove be himself. Everyone in agreement there? Perf the way he is. Two bottles of wine last night, a white claw surge, so I was hung today. His personality currently? I don't know, just kind of a sweet kid. Bit dorky. Very awkward. Honestly, I've never actually looked at what you can customize. Damn, I kind of want to change his hair. What hair should we go with? The hair one, all sort of messy. Hair two, a little bit longer. Hair three, very long and done up. For the record, he is now 18 years old. He is now 18 years old. Glasses. Gotta go with glasses one. Shirt, meh. I like shirt two. Shirt three, bringing out the gun show here. bringing everyone to the gun show. I'm inclined to go with shirt 2 myself. I think this is a good look for him. Shirt 3, you think? He's 18, Miss Honey. He is currently 18. So everyone's looking for the gun. Everyone wants a ticket to the gun show, huh? Gathering everybody wants tickets to the gun show. Pants. Just some basic jeans. Cargo pants. Jogging pants. Once again, I'm inclined to go with just the jeans myself. Hey, user. Gray sweatpants. Why not? Necklace. Give him a necklace as well. Why not? Long sleeve. Yeah, I figure this is the best. I figure this is the best look, but the problem, Google user, is people did really. People voted for shirt 3. People voted for the gun show. So I think I sort of have to go with shirt 3 just because of how people voted. PJs. Very subtle difference. 1, green and blue. 2, blue and dark green. Yeah, that one. And that one. Swimsuit. Here you go, everybody. Pink. He's comfortable in his masculinity. Well, blue because he's... Go with blue because that's like a watercolor. And formal. Ooh, formal wear. Go with that one, I guess. And personality. Warm to cold, studious to sporty. Hey, Belly. You can only stand my voice. Everyone else pisses him off in this reaction world. The blue makes more sense from a character perspective because he's all about the water. Elizabeth, no. The character model is set. men in pink are hot. I know, Google user. I know, it's just... I feel like he would go blue. I feel like he would wear blue because it's like the ocean color, the water color. Well, cold just means quiet. We kind of mixed here. Where do we put him on the studious to sporty? 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. 1 is most studious, 5 is most sporty. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What's everyone thoughts on this? Sorry, Google user. One pink. It's too late for that anyway. Now, boozing. So, Honey Bunny says 3. Nirvana says 5. Anyone else? Anyone else want to weigh in here? Fair enough, Goosen. Fair enough. We're stuck at 3 and 5. One person said 3, one person said 5. And both of them have said it twice. You want quiet and studious? So we are now at 1, 3, and 5. Come on, people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. More studious, more sporty, more mixed. There's another vote for 3. And with 2 votes for 3, 1 for 1, 1 for 5. Hey, Barney. Fine, we'll go with 3 for the studios to... Alright, and then, yeah, for up here. 1 is more warm and affable. 5 is more cold and quiet. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hey, just scrolling on the affable to quiet scale. No, Jenna, I'm pretty sure it doesn't. Alright. Getting a lot of 1s here. Or getting a few 1s here. Go with 4. Oh, hey. Since you're romantically interested in Cove, and are old enough to start being physically affectionate more seriously, you can choose what initiative level he has throughout Step 3. Making sure the player experiences what they want is important in our life, but always putting your choice first can potentially make a relationship feel one-sided. So we've added some flexibility in how it works out. Low initiative means that Cove will occasionally ask to touch the MC, and in those situations, there will always be an opportunity to say yes or no. For example, he won't simply lean over and kiss the MC as a greeting or in an emotional moment. Every piece of physical interaction will be either initiated or approved by the player before it happens. Middle initiative means there will be those certain times when Cove requests to touch the MC, many chances to initiate affection on your own, and also Cove will pretty regularly give affection automatically. One example would be giving the MC a kiss because he's happy or emotional or something else. And in other situations, you can choose not to make the first move in order to give Cove the space to be the one to act afterwards. Overall, Cove can get romantic, but the player's agency will take priority. High initiative includes everything middle does, but it also means that player agency will be reduced to a degree in favor of having Cove give physical affection even more frequently and with less prompting. Instead of all the major affection giving situations being led by a choice menu for you to decide on, some will instead be replaced by Cove acting automatically. This level is only recommended if you're very comfortable with physical affection and would prefer to simply see it happen, rather than always holding the reins on it. However, this level is mostly relevant if Cove ends up as your official boyfriend at some point. Situations where high-level initiative makes a difference tend to come up in scenes that are exclusive to being in a relationship. The parts that are also included in the middle initiative will be seen whether you're dating or not. Once you pick your level, it can't be changed later, so keep your full playthrough in mind when deciding. We hope you enjoy whichever initiative option you decide on. Furry app game everyone keeps seeing ads of. I wanted to pin the MC to the wall. I'm inclined to go middle initiative. Myself. All the single furries. I don't know, Casey. If I let you up, you're going to jump right down, aren't you? You'll jump right back down, won't you? Is there even any point to putting you on my lap when you'll jump back down immediately? And you kept running away from me, so I can't pick you up anyway. Well, fine then, jerkwad. Alright, middle initiative I'm going with. The start of classes ended the relaxed, free days of summer. It didn't take long for you to get back into the swing of the school year routine. Schedules and homework became the new normal. Derek wasn't around nearly as much, to his great dismay. With school itself and after-school activities, there weren't many opportunities for him to take the trip out to your neighborhood. Especially because he was always at some training camp or on a new regimen with a strict schedule. The two of you were usually stuck with merely telling each other about what was happening in your lives, instead of sharing your days in the same place. But you still kept in touch over the phone as best you could. The Jeremy kid did disappear after that summer, and no one ever heard from him again. Where he went or what he might be up to was a mystery. You saw more of Miranda around. Since you had hung out with her on her birthday, she had opened up to you. The two of you talked regularly. She was the same towards Cove. After a while, all three of you developed a real friendship together. More summers came and went, like the waves on the shore coming in and out. In your second year of high school, someone new started to visit Sunset Bird. A sunny girl named Terry Brooke. She was a friend Cove made due to them both being ocean-obsessed. Terry was more than glad to befriend you, too. Someone close to Cove had to be good company, she felt. You were pleased to get along with her as well. May as well mention the people who developed this game. What was her name? Give me a second. Yeah, GB Patch Games. This game was developed by GB Patch Games. They are working on a new one, which will have both boy and girl romantic love interests. Yeah, it's going to be another same type of game where you can choose whether your character is boy, girl, or non-binary. Boozin'. So it's sort of skipping through a few years. So, like, the games... So, yeah. Last time we played, we were 13. Just entering high school. So it's sort of... This is sort of giving the backstory of what goes on between being 13 and being 18. So it's just sort of filling in those that 5-year gap. So anyway, yeah. This game, there are 3 romantic interests who are all guys. The next game in this series, which I think is Always and Forever, or something like that. I don't remember what the next game is going to be called. The next one is going to have both guy and girl interests. Anyway, funnily enough, Terry was also extremely tight with Miranda, who she had known for even longer than Cove. The 4 of you were able to create a small friend circle. As for your home life, the lasts also had developments. Changing laws and public perception countrywide made it possible for your moms to openly wear their wedding rings without questions. Aww. Though they had a wedding years ago, it was only recently that the union was officially recognized everywhere in the US. That was a good day, to say the least. Elizabeth came into her own and stopped being quite as irritable. She no longer worried about perceived childishness as she grew up for real. She didn't even mind being called Lizzie again, although most people used Liz. She eventually graduated high school and moved out to attend college in another state. Aw. Bye, Liz. It was a lot for you to adjust to your older sister being gone. Liz never let you forget her role in your life, though, and kept in touch. Cove's relationship with his family improved over the years. Kira visited several times after that summer, and things became easier between the two. He was also closer with his dad than ever before. You knew they talked more, and that helped prevent a lot of friction before it could start. And Cove only continued to open up, to his parents and the rest of the world. He was so bright he shone. He would willingly join conversations, make jokes, and put in an effort not to use overly blunt phrasing. Cove's interests had shifted from when he was younger. He still enjoyed more studious pursuits, but he also spent just as much time on athletic activities. Your feelings for Cove hadn't wavered. Hey, achievement unlocked. Matured affection achievement unlocked. Hurrah! Your feelings for Cove hadn't wavered. However, you grew to have a better understanding of what exactly those feelings actually were. Your attraction to him was special and reserved for very few people. It was strange to look back on it all. The future faded into your present, and then it was simply the past. even the most fundamental parts of your life couldn't last forever. You felt that the most pointedly the day you inevitably graduated high school. It was over, and you would not be going back ever again. From now on, what came next was your choice. You would be directing your own life. That was where you were currently, the summer after school had ended. The first summer of true freedom. What used to be a reprieve from the typical was now going to be your first step into adulthood. One fine summer morning, you took in what had become a very special scene, the whole family having a meal together. Your big sister Liz still hadn't lived at home full-time for a couple years, but she arrived last week to spend the season here, since it was an off semester for her. That's a creepy smile she's got. I don't know, that's just a creepy smile. High school sucks anyway. Does kinda. She wanted to make sure she was in town because you had now also graduated high school. So who knew how much rarer these moments would become in the future? You watched on as Liz laughed good-naturedly over a comment Ma made. Her Elizabeth-only mindset had only been a phase. Nearly any nickname was welcomed at this point in her life. Strangely, even though she'd moved away, you'd lately felt closer to her than you had in a long time. Jenna? No. Not stepsister. Both kids are adopted. So, not biological sister, but like, adopted sister, raised as a sister. You idly scooped up more of your breakfast and chewed absent-mindedly. So they can sex? It would still be creepy and weird, Jenna, because they grew up together. Let's see, picky eater or whatever. I'm inclined to go picky eater because I'm a picky eater myself. What are these options? You can be a vegetarian, you can be a vegan, you can be a pescatarian, you can be a pollotarian, which I assume means you eat chicken. You can be a picky eater, or you can eat whatever. I'm inclined to go picky eater. Yeah, fuck it. Generally ate whatever. KFC. Could be, just scrolling, could be. And the meal you had reflected that. It included just about everything your moms had made, though you often made your own food nowadays. With Liz around, though, your parents made even more options than usual. Your sister had been vegetarian for a while, and they wanted to make sure she had choices too. They are starting to get older, these two. Conversation had gone on idly, without you fully taking in the words, until your ears were piqued when Ma started on a bit of town gossip.
Uh-huh.
And so that's how I heard the news. Alright, now stop burying the lead and tell us. What is this so-called news? Reporting live from a hoodie underneath 3 blankets. Try to read as best you can. No. Ma giggled as she cast a look across the table, satisfied that she had everyone's attention. Well, it turns out the Donnells won't be renting out the condo up the street as per Sunset Bird tradition, for the first time in what must be nearly 2 decades. A chorus of gasps and shocked expressions were had all around. After the initial shock, your eyebrows pinched. Ma may consider them by name, but you and Liz always viewed them exclusively as the mean old couple who would yell at anyone under 25 who crossed their paths. This is Mom. This is Ma. Yes. This is Ma here. This is Mom here. They are married. And this is Elizabeth. Your sister. Why are they so booby? Because who doesn't like boobs? Damn it. Boobs! That's why they're booby. That's why they're so booby. Because boobs are great. Your ma continued on with the story, spreading strawberry jam over a piece of toast as she did so. They decided not to take big trips anymore. Friends and family will be visiting them at their home. That's nice for them then. Have a good summer, mean grandparents with no grandkids. Away from us. Whose eyes? Are you saying Liz's eyes are seductive? I think she's just sort of meant to be playful. Thought the blue mom was pregnant? No. Boobs are great. Exactly. I hope they're still okay, even if they are mean. They've had a very full life. It's nothing to sneeze at. And you be nice, Liz. You don't want to end up like them, do you? You and your sister cracked smiles at the joke.
Well?
At least they won't be here to yell at my children anymore. Piss off comment. It's tempting.
Lonnie.
And that blunt comment got laughter from all three of you. Engrossed in conversation once more, you continued to chat with your family until the meal was over. Step 3. Third time's charm. As it went, once the food was eaten... No boozing, we're not hitting skip. Once the food was eaten, the cleanup had to be done. Liz took the role of washing the dishes and passed them to you for drying and putting away. You had a set of cups in front of you that needed to go on the top shelf of the cabinet. You had to stretch, but it was doable. You were an average height. That was simply your lot in life. You'd always hovered around the expected height for your age. You didn't think about it much. That was a struggle for you, because you remember how you used to feel so content about it when you were younger. Liz shook you out of your internal musing by starting an impromptu conversation. She seemed to be voicing the thoughts that had been buzzing around in her own head. I have to say, going back for another semester this fall is pretty intimidating. You'd think after the first year or two I'd have a handle on things, but no. You stole a glance at her, still placing cups in the proper place. Average. For the record, my character is non-binary. Cove is not the short one. Cove is not the short one. My character, this is my character right now. Like, right now we're talking about my character. My character is average height. Cove is tall. Don't worry, Cove is still going to be very tall. But my character is average height. And non-binary. My character is a they-them who likes dresses. They-them? Yes. My character is a they-them. Cove is he. Cove is he, him. Cove is a boy. My character, the player character, the main character, is they, them, non-binary. I guess it's only fair. My first run was pretty general classes, and year 1 of my architecture major was the basics. Now it feels serious. I have to actually know some things. The laugh she gave was flippantly airy, but the way she scrubbed at the plates held more force than necessary. I know you can handle it. How sweet of you to believe in me. Thanks. Your older sister's mouth quirked into a small smile. It'll be fine one way or another.
Oh.
Oh, but I'm not trying to scare you away from college. If that's even your plan. What is going on with that anyway? Cove is the main character in my sexual fantasies. Someone stream sniping me? Why? Never mind who. My question is why? Yeah, whoever's stream sniping me, hi, I hope you're... You know what? I hope whoever's stream sniping me and whoever's watching the stream snipe, I hope you actually do enjoy this game. And I hope that you, like, if you enjoy watching me play this, if it sort of appeals to you, then, you know, feel free to watch. Or feel free to get the game yourself. Feel free to... The game is Our Life, Beginnings and Always. It is available on Steam. I think it might be available on some console or other. So, if you enjoy visual novels, then by all means, check this game out. I happen to enjoy it. I enjoy it. I think it's a, cute idea. A lot of cute execution. So, Boozin? Oh, no. No, the views are always low when I do this game, Boozin. Whenever I play this game, the views are always very, very low. Thanks, Scapegoat. Hey, Stefan H. Exactly, Maria. Non-binary, they don't go by man or woman. Though it's more complicated than that. Non-binary is also... So gender is a spectrum. Being non-binary is a spectrum within that spectrum. So there are non-binary people who will still use pronouns for a specific gender. So you'll get somebody who uses he, they pronouns or she, they pronouns. You'll get people who are gender fluid, who will be, whichever, depending on their mood. But by default, yes, non-binary people don't identify as either guys or girls. Anyway, came to a firm conclusion recently. You answered the question as much as you were able and willing to. Liz's smile grew more reassuring as he did. You made it through 12 years of full-time education already. You can make your ideas happen, I'm sure. Sometimes it still felt hard to believe your public schooling experience was over. In the end... Belly? Yeah, I provide so little content to reaction channels. You had to work extremely hard, but were rewarded with great grades. And you felt satisfied leaving off there. It had been a familiar and fulfilling part of your life, but you were ready to move on. Liz picked up on the silence her question ended up creating. She decided it was time to make a closing statement on the topic.
You're a good kid.
Do what's best for you, and we'll be here to back it up. Thanks, Liz. At that, Liz happily passed the final dish your way. She waved a soapy, soaked hand as a farewell and moved on to her next task for the cleanup job. You refocused on getting the last pieces put back where they belonged. You eventually moved on to a new chore, but that was interrupted by the sound of your cell phone. It was the phone's default ringtone. Because that works. You casually picked it up from the table where you had placed it earlier. The phone was a couple years old at this point, having been a 16th birthday gift from your parents. They decided which model to get, but you got to pick the color. It was... What color are we going with? Silver, yellow, black, green, gold, blue, rose gold, purple, red, pink, orange, or turquoise. I think my inclination is purple. Silver. Android. Rose gold. Ugh. Pink. Silver. Rose gold. Your phone is rose gold. Black. Sophisticated. Classic. White. White isn't a color. I guess that goes to silver. Rose gold is your favorite color? Actually, come to think of it, I don't even remember what rose gold looks like. But okay. Just because I made Jenna yell, we'll go with rose gold. Pink and metallic-y. Ah. Should we have a special charm attached to it? I've always kind of found that a little bit... Like, I don't know. I've always kind of found having charms attached to the phone... Well, Jenna is all in favor of the charms. Which was... Alright, well. I think we have no choice here. You know, all the other ones are, sure, why not, but... No charm? Oh, sorry, Jenna. I thought you were saying yes to having a charm, Jenna. Sorry. Anyway, the crab keychain Cove bought you when you were a kid. I think it's gotta be the... You know, I'm a teenager who's like got a huge crush on her best friend from childhood. I feel like it's gotta be like that little bit of sentimentality, right? Crystal heart. I mean, string of anal beads. Like, all those things are cute. Cat face? I wouldn't mind. Cat face would be good. Could have this as a charm. But, I think I just confused her. I think I just kind of confused her. That's too desperate. But again, Boozin. 18. Right? Character's 18. She's a kid. Or they're a kid. They're young, and young people are often cheesy. I think it's gotta be the crab keychain Cove bought you when you were a kid. It's fun, Maria. Meanwhile, crystals are just shitty. Crystals are just stupid looking. You were pleased when you finally had a prominent place to use the gift. Sorry, I gotta blow my nose. Give me a second. You are such a desperate bitch. Come on. Go back to bed. Go back to bed. No. I'm not giving you treats. Do you hear me? Can you hear me? No treats. Another hour or so. Another hour or so. Who would keep the keychain from when you were kids? Liz? No, this is Lee. No, Cove is the crush. Liz is the sister. Karen? Actually, Karen, I think it's 10 years at this point. If I'm not mistaken, I believe that Cove bought you the keychain when you were, when you were 8. Or when we were 8. Currently doing your first feminine douche. Gotta make my punani ready for the pinunu. Good to know, Jenna? Anyway, the screen lit up as you gave the little device a swipe with one finger. You were informed by caller ID that it was Lee. You weren't surprised. Despite having busier and busier lives and not living in the same town, you still had a good relationship with your cousin of the same age. Boozin'? Nah, they're dating. They're dating now, Boozin'. They're boyfriend-girlfriend now. Especially once the miracle of the both of you having your own phones actually happened. She got hers first, though. Tapping at the accept button, you answered her call. A familiar, bubbly voice came through right after.
Hi.
Look at that goofy-ass keychain. Boozin'? My character doesn't. My character is they. They, them. Lee has a gender. Lee is a girl. Hiya! I trust I'm not interrupting anything major. Only some cleaning around the house. Oh, then you're welcome for my call. A distraction from that must have been desperately needed. Yes, thank you, my dear cousin.
My pleasure.
The crab looks so corny. It does. It looks goofy and... She giggled, and you could hear the jangling of the jewelry she must be wearing. Nothing amazing is happening for me either. I'm bored and felt like chatting. My morning shift ended, so I'm free for the rest of the day. Woo! Tell Lee you're streaming this call. That's good. You hadn't started working anywhere yet, so you couldn't relate. Unlike you, Lee had started dipping her toes into the workforce as of late. It made keeping in touch frequently even more complicated. But you both manage. Who's Lee? Cousin. Lee is your cousin. What about you? It's been pretty normal.
Cool.
That's you then. So, how's Mr. Cove Holden doing? There was a teasing bent to her tone. She was never willing to let up on what was going on between the two of you. But that name was incredibly familiar to your ears. Cove, your next-door neighbor for the past decade at this point. But he was far more than just someone who lived on the same street. You vividly remembered the summer day you expressed feelings for each other as little 13-year-olds. Yeah. You started officially dating years ago. Are you even surviving without the boy being 10 feet away at all times? Or is everything right with the world again and he's back? No, Lee, he isn't here. Just like he wasn't here yesterday, or the last time you asked, or the time before that.
Sorry.
Aw, my bad. Can you blame me? Doesn't it seem like he should have made his grand return already? Plus, I want to visit soon and he needs to be there too. Good to know, Google user. You could understand where she was coming from. This was certainly outside the norm. For the past couple months, and the last few weeks especially, Cove had been going to his mom's place in Nevada. This is why he's not around Jenna. He's visiting his mom in Nevada. The two of you still regularly stayed in contact over text and calls, but still. Your mind began to drift back in time to all the prior trips he'd taken to visit her. Almost every year he'd have to go away for a while, and then he'd be back. Cove's gambling addiction. It made you sad and lonely when it happened. You kept an eye on his house for him while he wasn't there. You gave him special treasures to take with him before he left. Some were just to borrow, and others for him to keep forever. He sent you letters while there in return. That's how it was in the past, but lately he had been trying to see her as much as he could before taking long trips to another state became too impractical to do. His part-time work could become full-time soon, or he could be moving somewhere else for school. Cove hadn't actually been entirely clear what his plans were after graduation. Cove was hesitant to speak on that, even with you. It couldn't be avoided forever, though. You both knew that.
Well?
Maybe we should switch this up to a non-Cove related topic? Sounds like a plan. The rest of the conversation rolled on. Not much longer, though. Lee had to go, and you needed to finish your responsibilities around the house. The both of you exchanged goodbyes, then you went back to what you'd been working on before the call came in. As you wrapped up the last of your chores, you were approached by Liz wearing a cheeky smile. I've got Mom's keys. Want to get out of this tiny town and do some shopping in a real city? That sounds great.
Good.
I'm driving. You were glad for that. You still just had a learner's permit. Go get your wallet and anything else. We're going now. With a nod, you made a quick detour to collect your stuff from your bedroom. You had money saved up from gifts you'd received. I don't know, it's a cute sundress, Boozin'. Hey, Nessagen. It's a cute sundress and a sun hat. It's California. What the hell do you expect people to wear? People dress weird in California. It's called fashion, Boozin'. Look it up sometime. After making sure you were both fully prepared for the long haul to the largest city in the surrounding area, you buckled into the car. It was a smooth ride there, with light conversation about what shops to stop at, and the radio blasting. Liz controlled what was played, but she made sure to pick songs she knew you liked. It was something the two of you had always done for each other. It's called fashion! Hey, huge ass. Hey, Barbara. The trip there breezed by, and in what felt like no time, you had gone from cruising down the road to cruising through the mall. Liz had her interests to check out, and you yours. Elizabeth? The mom's car. Art. Drawing, painting, reading digitally is in galleries. You like to read. Fiction, comics, manga, nonfiction. You wrote things. You enjoyed music. You listened to a lot of it. Nah, my character's not going to play. Like going to the beach. Sandcastles, swimming, seashells, walking along the shore, surfing. You like to watch movies, I guess? On TV, sure, why not? You enjoy learning new things. Video games and board games. Cove is so lame that he's in rehab for huffing air duster. Sports, nah. Hang out with people, sure. And sure, why not? Into fashion. Clothes. And that's everything. Why not? Into just about everything. Cove 18 plus fanfiction incoming. I wouldn't be surprised if that exists, Miss Honey. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if there is Our Life adult fanfiction. Erotic fanfiction. When turning a corner down a new length of the mall, your eyes caught on a little gift store. Your friends and family had recently given you many presents for graduating high school. You had a gift of your own ready to give to Cove when the chance came. It was something you had known you'd wanted to do, and you were looking forward to seeing his reaction. Graduation may have already come and gone, but Cove wasn't really around, so you had to wait. Hi, Gia. Eventually, the mall was explored in full, with every shop of note being checked over. Rather than going home, you decided to walk over to some smaller stores nearby. Liz had many thoughts on that topic.
So?
Honestly, malls are not a bastion of society. Even if smaller stores require extra distance, the brands are so much more... Then your sister abruptly stopped speaking and walking, right in the middle of the path. It was a good thing no one was behind her. She seemed to entirely shut off for a moment. Liz? The attempt to catch her attention was unsuccessful. Something else had all her focus. Before you could puzzle out what might be happening, she began to mumble out of the corner of her mouth. Jamie, don't draw attention, but look. What? What? With a harsh whisper and a settled jerk of her head, she urged you once more.
Hey!
Look! You followed her gaze as best you could to a large bunch of colorful teens strolling down the same path. Okay? You faced back over to your sister with a confused expression and an unspoken question. What were you supposed to be seeing there? Jamie, doesn't one of them seem familiar? She was practically bouncing at this point, so you looked the group over again. And this time you saw what she was seeing. Amongst the collection of strangers was brown hair, gray eyes, and lots of freckles. That's Shiloh! Our Shiloh! From when we were kids! Yep, that was definitely him. I can't believe it! He's honestly just there! That's hilarious, that's incredible! Oh, but how do we talk to him? We'd have to pull him away from all those people, and what if I'm wrong? Hey, head and toilet bowl. Your mouth opened to reply, but she cut it off with her own answer to the question. I've got it. I'll shout the name Shiloh, and then we can act like it wasn't us. If you respond to that, we'll know without a doubt it's him. Jamie, keep an eye out to see if he looks. Liz, can't you just try talking to him normally? Likely without even hearing what you had to say, Liz put her plan into action. Shiloh! New side character? Old side character, actually, Steph. Shiloh was from when we were 8. This game is slow. Very slow, toilet bowl. She loudly projected the word across the way, and then put on an act of casualness, turning her head away from the scene while brushing at the skirt of her dress. In a supremely awkward moment, you could only stand there as tension in the area shifted to the two of you, thanks to your sister's shout. But of the many startled bystanders who became altered to your presence, one of them was the boy. From a distance, his large eyes met yours. He looked. A wide grin took over Liz's face. She pushed the rim of her sun hat up and away from her face while swishing back and around to greet her old friend directly. Shiloh! Waving, she stepped a bit closer to express her intention to meet, without really closing the gap. She wanted him to come to her. Who you presumed to be, Shiloh looked surprised at the call-out. He stole a quick glance at the crowd he was with, and hesitantly glanced back your way. He was trying to double-check something. Liz remained steadfast with her gaze trained on him, and, ultimately, he broke away from the rest of them. After a light-footed jog across the brick path, the young man pleasantly presented himself in front of you, Liz and you.
Hi.
I like your hat. The plan didn't really work because everyone looked, not just Shiloh. But Shiloh was clearly looking because he heard his own name. Just that simple greeting had Liz giggling.
Hey.
Hello. I'm not sure if you remember this, but I'm Lizzie and that's Jamie. We were all friends when we were little kids. His already wide eyes grew even larger, their gaze darting between you and Liz. His previously chipper demeanor faded into something delicate. I'm really sorry, but I think you have the wrong person. You could tell not being instantly recognized was going to make this exchange more of a challenge. Still, Liz was undeterred. It was a long time ago. You were really young. I get why you feel like that. However, I'm positive I'm right. You're exactly the same. That face, the freckles, how genially you try to phrase things. You're even still wearing a hat. Instinctively, he looked up at his headwear with creased brows, not making the connection on why the hat meant something to her.
Okay.
We knew each other, okay? An uneasy smile settled on him as a silence followed Liz's speech. He was picking his next words carefully. And then the quiet was obliterated by a new voice bursting into the conversation. Shiloh! What are you doing? The rest of the group already left. A field trip is not a vacation. We are on a schedule. Startled, your head snapped towards the path. A distinctly unhappy individual with piercing magenta eyes, dark brown skin, and a sharp jaw stormed your way. He carried a cloud of authority with him, despite looking like he wasn't even 18 yet.
Sorry.
I didn't mean to ditch. That is such a mean girl. She's not. She's a sweet girl. She's just sometimes a little bit doesn't think things through. Shiloh, whose name was now officially confirmed, gestured with a hand to the explanation of his absence as the stranger watched impatiently. They thought they recognized me as someone they knew, but it was a tiny misunderstanding. Liz theoretically as well as literally put her foot down at that, stomping in frustration and getting more childish the longer she was around her childhood companion.
Come on.
We do know you! Shiloh merely shrunk in on himself. The tone he spoke with was pained. Sorry. You honestly couldn't tell if he was apologizing for the upset feelings of your sister, or the palpable dissatisfaction of his new acquaintance. That in itself was very Shiloh-like. Oh, you know him, is that it? The stranger spoke in a dismissively scoffing tone, as if the words sounded so absurd to him that it was almost amusing. Almost. But the sternness of his demeanor quickly reinstated itself. Well, do you know me? I'll tell you. I'm someone who's been forced against his will to be aware of what's going on in Shiloh's ridiculous personal life. For a year! Can Liz kidnap Shiloh? He is pretty tiny. If the two of you had any importance in his general day-to-day existence, it would have come up by now. Don't bother trying to exaggerate any trivial connection you might have. It's not good enough. He's with us, and you'll survive without him. Now stop loitering on the road. It's rude.
Excuse me?
We're the rude ones? The high-strung ranting got an audible gasp from Shiloh, who finally started to speak up again in defense. Nate, that's really mean. It's also true. We're leaving. With that declaration, the unofficially introduced Nate indignantly spun on his heels and walked speedily towards where the group went, completely confident that Shiloh would follow behind. No two characters that don't act like they're gonna... Oh, people can have bad attitudes, huh? Why can't they just try to get along? It's not hard. Don't worry, though. I bet you won't have to deal with them again. And I'm sorry I can't stay to talk to you, but I hope you have a really nice life. Some friends in my hometown for the holidays, and this person I used to be friends with in high school was working the McDonald's lot drive-thru. I pretended I didn't know them.
Bye!
And that was it. His final parting words given. Shiloh left the two of you behind to catch up with his own life that he had to go live.
Bye!
Whoops. Liz watched his exit, stunned, only to frown when it hit her that he was really gone as quickly as he appeared. It happened so fast he hadn't even been able to get a word in. She sighed, all the energy she built up releasing with the breath. I could have told him his last name was Fields, his birthday is October 30th. That would have proved it, but no. Whoever Nate is, he sucks. He was so unnecessarily unpleasant when all you wanted was to talk to someone for a moment. Do you want to go catch up with him? Liz merely shook her head, pushing off childish thoughts. I think we can leave it there, thanks. He's in the middle of a high school field trip, and it was already enough being able to see him. There's something reassuring about witnessing firsthand that he's still out there, enjoying his own part of the world. Though, if given the chance, I could definitely have a few words with him about the company he's got. She laughed, but you could tell there wasn't much humor to it. She was mad at that guy, even if she was happy to let Shiloh go. Snella? She doesn't want affection, she wants temptations. She wants treats. Watch. I'll pick her up. I'll try to give her some affection. Try to... Okay, Casey, you didn't want to be held like that. Fair enough. I didn't grab you the right way. See, here I am. Here I am, trying to give Casey some affection. We'll see how long this lasts. Maybe they're only with each other because of the trip, and it's not usually how things are.
Right?
True. We can only hope the same for him as he did for us. Have a nice life, Shiloh. And she's down! See? I just tried to give her some attention. And she's already gone. Oh, sorry, Jenna. Kiss her on the head? Hell no. Go back to sleep. Go back to sleep for 45 minutes. Casey? Casey, go back to bed for 45 minutes. I'll give you treats at 9:30. Alright? 9:30. It's 45 minutes. Can you wait 45 freaking minutes? Just give it 45 minutes, okay? Have a good life. Liz smiled at you. It had the self-confidence you knew so well from her. Come on, kid. Let's finish our own trip. Yeah. No matter how either of you really felt about the occurrence, it was something you simply had to accept. People you know just disappear and reappear in the most unexpected ways. The two of you enjoyed what remained of your outing until it was time to return home. By the time you arrived back, the sun was already beginning to set. You arched your back as you stretched your arms towards the ceiling. While it had been a good day, it had enough activity to cover an entire week. Liz tried to hide a yawn behind her hands. You weren't the only one feeling worn out. I'll be heading up to your room. I mean, the guest room, since mine stopped being available as soon as I was out the door. Her tone was light. She had had quite a lot to say on the subject when he'd first taken over her bigger room after she left for college, but there have been many trips back home for her since then. The room hasn't been hers for years. It was more of a running joke now that she continued to bring the topic up to this day. Thanks for being so gracious about giving it up. I had no choice. A small laugh was shared between you and your older sister.
Mm-hmm.
You better believe you'll be back in the guest room when you've got your own place and we're both in town for a visit. We can take turns. You'll have Thanksgiving. I'll get Christmas. What a reasonable and mature suggestion. I'll think about accepting it. She flashed her familiar grin, and you couldn't help but feel glad she was back around, even if it was temporary. With that, she plodded off to the spare room. You were ready to do the same. Moving into a new space was your first opportunity to decorate from scratch. Oh, hey! Wow. Blue, green, purple, yellow. I kind of like the yellow. I like this. I kind of like this little thing here. Green's good too. It's got this nice, bookcase, nice, desk is nice. This is definitely a nice layout. It's kind of airy. It's, gives a sense of a lot of space. Green makes the room feel big. Green is the layout that makes the room feel biggest. But this one has that little bench right next to the window. Also, I kind of like the bed sort of being under this little... Green makes the room feel empty. Kinda. It makes the room feel, yeah, it kind of does. But I like the bed being under this, this bit. A little bit of extra shadow here. And then this bench. I like the bench underneath the window. I really like that. Extras. Couple of trophies over here, but meh. Couple books here. Yeah, why not? Couple trophies, why not? Window. Sure, why not? Stuff on the windowsill. Walls. Left. Meh. Oh, wait, hold on. Plant. More plants. Nothing. I like books. So yeah, a couple seashells. A small plant. A couple stuffed animals. stuffed animals, if we think. What do you think? Some stuffed animals or water stuff? Ocean stuff. Actually, you know what? I think like seashell, because, yeah. My character loves the beach. My character does love the beach. So, a board, meh. Some photos, sure. Never get laid with those plushies on display? Oh yeah, because if there's one thing guys hate, it's someone with plushies. Come on. I said stuffed animals, red flag. Some pretty cool posters. Pass. Lights. Pass. And floor. Volleyball. Telescope. Yes or no to the telescope? What do we say? Yes or no for the telescope? Mounted bear head. I think I'll say no. I think I'm leaning towards no for the telescope. Makes it look a little cluttered. Makes the room look a little too cluttered. Spy on hot dad across. Fair enough, Boozin. Fair enough. You know what? Boozin, you raised a very good point. So okay, I'll put the telescope. You have one in your room? Alright, so that all looks pretty good. Done! You were really satisfied with the feel of your tiny part of the world. As your thoughts drifted, you tried to bite down another yawn. It was no good. Your bed was now lodged in your mind, and all you could think about was collapsing on it. You trudged up the stairs to your room. Stepping inside, you closed the door behind you, blocking the rest of the house. When you turned back around, you realized you were not alone there. Comfortably perched on the windowsill was someone very familiar to you. Cove Holden. I'm gonna say going with the tank top was actually a good choice, just for this moment here. Such a twink. So exactly, Jenna. The shock knocked all words out of you. Surprise? His tone was easy and relaxed. It certainly was a surprise. You hadn't expected him to be within the state, never mind your own house. He hadn't answered how he had suddenly just appeared back in Sunset Bird, though to be fair, you'd been too astounded to actually ask the question. Thankfully, Cove took the hint from your stunned expression and began to explain.
So...
I got in about 15 minutes ago. No one was home, so I figured I'd come in the usual way. The window. A small smile had formed on his face. You were still staring at him, unable to blink in case he disappeared. You could still barely believe that he was really there, mere feet away from you. I cannot say that this is making me horny, Frida. I left my bags in your backyard. I hope that's alright. That was when you truly understood. Cove had come straight to you upon getting back to town. You were his first port of call, taking precedence above all else. Even though you hadn't been in when he called, Cove had ensured that he'd see you at the earliest opportunity, rather than allowing his plans to change. You laughed. The delight bubbled out of you as a fit of chuckles. He could never even attempt to hide how he felt about anything, including you. Cove dropped from his seat on the windowsill, landing lightly on his feet. He made his way over to you, the smile still resting on his face. I missed you. And you kissed him. Ah. He instinctively began to close his eyes as your face leaned in closer to his. You did it on the lips, obviously. He met you part way, and the two of you shared a gentle greeting kiss. You then stepped back a bit. Cove rubbed the side of his head and furtively glanced down. Though he couldn't help getting a little nervous still, he was beaming. I missed you too. Bit of breaking and entering? Guess so. Even if he hadn't said it outright, you would have gotten the message from his body language. Cove was grinning widely, his raised cheeks burying his eyes, which gleamed like hidden gems. But he looked at you as if you were the most exciting treasure of all. How was the trip? Cove's brow creased as he considered your question. Cove stepped towards you. He cupped your face with his hands, gently guiding your chin so your eyes met his. You could feel the beat of your race pulsing against his fingertips. I hated it. Let's never be apart again, okay? He said that absolutely as a joke, an exaggeration, something that wasn't a real request, of course. And yet, despite all that, it felt real. Your heart hammered in your chest. Your head swam, cast adrift on a tide of thoughts and adrenaline. Cove smiled as if offering a silent apology for his sudden onslaught of tenderness, but he let the words proudly hang in the air all the same. Cove told you about his trip back at Gone. Soon you'd even recovered enough to actually listen. His mom was doing really well. She had a project in the works that she was thrilled about. As a result, Cove was going to be sticking around in Sunset Bird for the time being. Things were settled, as much as they ever could be. With Cove back once more, you felt at ease. Cove stretched his arms out over his head, his eyes on the window and the world beyond. The sun had set while you'd been busy reuniting.
Well...
I should probably get my stuff and see Dad. He glanced over to you with a familiar, expectant look. Wanna come with me? You know I do.
Cool.
Cove began to head to your bedroom door. You insisted on a piggyback ride. It was a special occasion. Cove. He paused, turning to face you once more. You coming back is a big moment. Something worth celebrating. What I'm trying to say is that I want you to give me a piggyback ride. Cove didn't say anything, his eyebrows raised in disbelief.
Seriously?
Really, Jamie? You want me to carry you downstairs? You nodded. Cove rolled his eyes, but he bent down so that you could clamber onto his back. Even while he was crouched down, Cove's back was pretty high up, and it took a bit of effort for you to properly get up there. Cove's gum tastes like winter fresh gum. Cove wobbled as he straightened up, not terribly unaccustomed to balancing someone on his shoulders. Cove carried you down the stairs. You had to duck down a couple of times, the ceiling grazing against your elevated head. Still, you safely reached the ground floor of your house. The door's gonna be in the way. Get off here so I can open it up. He bent down to let you slide safely off his back. Seeing things from your usual height was disorienting after getting accustomed to looking down at everything. In all the excitement of Cove's return, you hadn't even remembered the gift you'd prepared for when he got back. It would be best to give it to him now, before he left your house. Can you wait here for a little while? I got something for you. Cove tilted his head, intrigued.
Really?
He nodded with some eagerness, trying to imagine how he'd react when he actually saw it. The gift you'd chosen hadn't been something you could buy. It was... I don't know, that $20 bill is actually kind of, seems like kind of a cute gift to give him. The games, for those who weren't here for the original episode, for the first episode, at the very beginning of the game, Cove's dad gave you $20 to hang out with Cove. It was not the smartest thing he'd ever done. Not the best thing that a father could do. Let's do the $20 bill. A grin spread over your face as you rushed upstairs to fetch the gift. Back in your room, you dug out the old $20 bill Mr. Holden had given you so many years ago. It was soft, the paper having long given up resistance as it was crinkled, folded, and smoothed back out again. If you'd spent it and brought it back into circulation, it would have been destroyed and replaced long ago. You were glad it had been spared that fate. Having collected your one-of-a-kind gift, you headed back downstairs. Cove looked at you with eager curiosity as you approached. You held up the bill with both hands. Cove smirked, his nostrils flaring as he issued a snort of laughter, though his eyes were rueful. His relationship with his dad had improved over the years, but Mr. Holden had never lived this incident down. Giving someone cash as a graduation gift has never made more sense, huh? You shook your head. He didn't understand. This isn't just a 20. It's the 20. The 20? He raised an eyebrow as he echoed your words, still not understanding. He gasped. You knew then that he had realized what it was you were holding.
That's...
The one that... from the deal? My dad? Despite the broken sentences, you knew what he was asking. That's the one. You never spent it. His mouth hung open. No further words came out. He stared, stunned, at the note in your hand. No hentai, Cam. I was just a kid and didn't really get it, so I took the money your dad wanted to give me. But even then, I couldn't find anything that felt right to spend it on. It was too important. That feeling never went away. There was never anything worth giving it up for. Except for you. Cove's eyes were shining. Aw. Just getting to know you was the only reward I needed. So, I want you to have it. Cove charges $10 per inch. Ouch! Oof! Harsh, boozin'! You continued to hold the note out towards him. Cove finally collected his jaw, a delicate smile lighting up his face. He cautiously reached out and accepted the bill from your hand. Cove reverentially laid the gift safely on the counter, but didn't turn back to face you once he had ensured it was secure. Though his face was angled away from you, you caught his eyelashes fluttering as if batting away tears. His throat bobbed as he swallowed bubbling emotions. You knew that Cove could be sentimental. The gift, and all the memories and feelings tied up in it, seemed to have taken a toll on him. When he began to sniffle, you felt the need to reach out. Cove?
Jamie.
I can't... You just... Jamie, I don't know what to do. I was so hungover, I wanted to be a little spoon. He forcefully scrubbed at his eyes, like he was trying to push the tears that threatened to spill back in. Oh, Cove, it's okay. Do you need to cry? No! I don't want to... I'm not crying! Nevertheless, tears had begun to spill down his cheeks. Even as he wiped them away, more took their place. Thank you. His voice quavered as he spoke. Cove reached out. You gladly stepped forward to meet him. He laid his warm hands against your cheeks and brought his lips to you. You kissed Cove until the need for air finally went out. Head spinning, you were glad at the security of Cove's hands. Oops. Even after your lips had parted, Cove remained close, his hands still framing your face. You didn't need words, as you quietly accepted his appreciation. Cove let out a steady breath. It was far removed from the shaky gasps that had accompanied his sniffles. The tears had dried. Cam? 18. He's 18 years old. His eyes were a little red, but open and at peace once again. He smiled, fully recovered from the emotion that had overcome him. You're really, seriously too nice to me. You smiled back. I don't think there's such a thing as too nice when it comes to you. Cove brushed his hands against the pale ghost of a scar on his arm. He was at a loss for what to do now. The clock ticked away, counting the seconds of silence. Once you'd had a chance to settle your thoughts, you figured you'd tell Cove the intriguing news. I meant to tell you earlier. I saw Shiloh today.
Huh?
Shiloh? Cove repeated the name, his expression blank. From when we were kids. Cove pondered for a moment, then snapped his fingers. Oh, he was the freckly boy from that first summer, right? The one who moved. I met a guy named Shiloh. He looked just like the Shiloh we knew, plus however many years. But he didn't remember me and just left. Cove frowned. That's... I don't know. Too bad I missed it. Though you knew him better than I did. That was definitely true. Not only had Cove known Shiloh for a shorter period of time, but he and Shiloh had never quite gotten along. Not that they were enemies, either. Just kids who were only ever together because of other people they both knew. I wonder what Shiloh's up to these days. I don't have any idea. He didn't say much.
Oh.
Oh well. That was everything you had on that news item, so you moved on to the next big update. Also, you know the mean old neighbors? The ones who would always yell at us? He cringed, recalling those particular memories of back in the day was not pleasant, even for someone as nostalgic as him. Yeah? They're not coming. They didn't rent the condo this summer. Cove's jaw dropped. You didn't blame him. The elderly couple had been an institution for as far back as you could remember, long predating Cove's arrival. Even now, as a teenager, you found your neck prickling as you walked by their condo, half expecting a scolding for breathing the wrong way in the vicinity of their vacation home. It was strange to think of that coming to an end. Wow. Cove blinked, clearly struggling with the idea in the same way you had. I didn't see that coming. People being gone, people coming back. It feels like I've missed a lot. This has been a busy summer already. Well, you haven't missed the fireflies. They haven't shown up yet. Well, that's something. And we'd better not get left behind. There's still stuff to do. You nodded. As soon as you left your house, Cove bent down to let you climb onto his back for the last part of the journey. It seemed that no sooner had the night begun than it was already at an end, and the dawn of a new day was soon upon you. The next morning your belly was full of breakfast, and you were in a pleasant mood. You hoped the rest of the day followed suit. Later, you were meeting up with your friends, Cove, Miranda, and Terry, to go into town. It was all on short notice, but that was because everyone was just so excited that Cove was finally back home. Having a nice day, Dream? You blinked, pushing all your thoughts away and returning to reality. Your mom was watching you with a teasing smile.
All right.
So, what's on the agenda today? I'm meeting up with some people. Well, I hope you and your friends have fun. Don't get into too much trouble. She winked at you. You knew both of your moms wanted you to enjoy every bit of this summer before all the big changes started. Mom is a snack? She is pretty. This is, just scrolling. This is Mom, not Ma. Ma is the brown one. Mom is the white one. I'll try.
That'd be great.
But before you go gallivanting around the town, could you bring the mail in? I'm finishing up putting the dishes away over here. All right. Thanks very much. As soon as you were outside your front door, you couldn't help but see Cove and his dad standing around on the road. They noticed you, too. Cove's dad, still looking good? Cove's dad is still a good-looking dude. Still looks pretty young.
Hey.
Hey there, Jamie. Hi, good timing. You should come join us. You kissed him. On the lips. Cove welcomed you as you stepped closer. You cut the side of his face with one hand, staring into his eyes, and leaned in. He met you halfway, placing a hand on your lower back and brought you in even closer. It was quicker than you wanted it to be, especially now that you were getting lost in the moment. Your hand slid from his cheek to his chest when you parted. His lips pulled into a satisfied smile, and he looked at you with stars in his eyes. You noticed Mr. Holden was taking in the scene of you and Cove with a self-satisfied smile. probably is. He's like, yeah, I did that. I got these two together. Cove followed your line of sight and shot his dad an unimpressed look. For a moment, Mr. Holden seemed like he had a thought tap dancing on the tip of his tongue, but he decided to keep it to himself.
So,
what are you up to today? As far as I know, nothing too much. Me and Cove are meeting some friends in town later. Sounds like a plan to me. Yawning, Mr. Holden stretched his arms over his head. My boy and I have just been waiting around to see what the new neighbors are like. It was definitely his idea. I don't know how you're not interested in this. It's big news. Besides, it'd only be polite to greet the new folks in town. Maybe it'll be a single dad and his son. Cove snorted some airy laughter at the suggestion.
Oh?
You think we'll have some competition? For several moments, Mr. Holden was unable to answer. He was still chuckling when he put his hands on his hips and tried to compose himself.
nah.
Absolutely not. We're the #1 father-son duo in this town, and no one's changing that. Mr. Holden took one more glance at the currently vacant building and sighed dramatically. When he turned back to you and Cove, his whole body seemed deflated. There's no sign of them, and I still need to head over to work soon. Cove gave his dad a few reassuring pats on the back. Okay, I promise to keep an eye out. I can text you if anything happens. Really?
Of course.
Yeah, of course. Well, I mean, only until I have to meet up with Terry and Miranda. Would that still work? With a wide grin breaking out on his face, Mr. Holden looked absolutely thrilled to have his nosiness enabled. That works! He moved to firmly place both hands over Cove's shoulders, fixing his child with a firm stare. Son, you are my true ally in this world. So let people who can't afford a mortgage do it their time. Mr. Holden stood up straighter, letting Cove go. He looked reinvigorated. Okay, with that settled, I'll go make some money. That's always been the one thing I do best. Mr. Holden headed off to the garage with a big wave goodbye. Cove smiled the whole time you both watched his dad leave. Mr. Holden was one of your favorite people. He always tried his best and honestly was honestly just great. As soon as he was out of sight, Cove sighed lightly. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, just not looking forward to waiting. Guess I'll be hanging around the street a while. Why don't I stay to see the new neighbor and keep you company? Curiosity about the new tenant was getting the better of you, and you figured that the wait wouldn't be too much longer. And besides, you just couldn't leave Cove. Really? Of course. I like keeping you company, remember? He stared at you a moment, smiling softly and thinking about his response.
Me too.
I like that too. Cove put his hands on your shoulders. His thumbs absent-mindedly moved in a soothing circle. The look in his eyes was, you're my true ally in this world. That got a fair amount of chuckles from you. He hissed. For a moment, you weren't sure if Cove was laughing at your declaration, or that you momentarily forgot the word luckiest. Either way, you didn't mind. The smile on his face reached his eyes, and it made you feel electric. And then he let go of you. Cove stepped over to his front porch steps, lazily taking a seat and leaning back in his arms. Our watch begins. Nodding in agreement, you joined Cove on the front porch steps. You both sat there in a comfortable familiarity, as you settled in for the waiting game on the new tenants. The neighborhood was quiet, and you sighed contentedly, closing your eyes and feeling the light breeze. Eventually, you both perked up at the sound of a car. A taxi followed the noise, turning onto your street. Cove's eyebrows raised at that sight, and he sat up straight on the stoop.
Oh?
This has to be them, right? Yeah, it's gotta be. Now that they were here, you couldn't help but feel just a bit curious. You wondered what kind of person would be living in the neighborhood for the summer. The taxi pulled to a stop as you expected in front of the now empty condo. It was on the same side of the street as your house, a few buildings further up. Without getting to his feet, Cove tried leaning and tilting his head to get a view of the passenger door as it opened. The single occupant exited the cab. Huh? You could feel what Cove was in that moment. After the last renters, this new visitor was definitely not what you'd expected. It was a young man, had to be close to your own age. He was dressed fully in an eclectic black, white, and gray outfit. Even his side-swooping hair matched the scheme. The only other pop of color was from something that couldn't easily be fashioned into submission. A pair of dark brown eyes, which you caught when he looked over at his audience. Fuck that shirt. It is an ugly shirt. This is an ugly, ugly shirt. I agree. Terrible shirt. Hello, folks. Who might you be? We're the neighbors. The smile already prominent on his face curled further. It was cocky, but you didn't get the impression it meant something adverse. Hallelujah. You and Cove shared a familiar look with one another, bewildered even further. The color-coordinated man left it there, however, and with a firm click, he shut the door of his ride. Then he turned his back to you to retrieve a large, unsurprisingly, black suitcase out of the trunk. Continuing on with his own business, he strolled forward and lightly tapped on the driver's side window with his knuckles, asking for them to roll it down. When it opened, he leaned down and rested his arm on the edge. You assumed he was thanking the driver for getting him there, considering he slipped him a tip during the brief chat. They shook hands, and then he pushed himself up and away from the taxi with both arms, giving the driver room to leave. Looks so cunty. I love it. Reminds me a lot of my gay Judies when I used to work in a department store. The taxi rolled away, rolling carefully down the road and out of sight around a corner. The new renter had officially arrived. He left his suitcase on the ground, out of the way of the street, and sauntered over your way with the confidence of someone who had been invited to join. Cove finally stood up to greet this person. You followed suit.
Excellent.
I'm Baxter Ward. It's excellent to meet you, neighbors. So, Baxter, I may as well mention something now. It is possible to meet Baxter when you're 13. Yeah. Corey, you're just boring me. Yeah, fuck it. I won't block yet. But, yeah, so when you're 13, one of the scenes is a soiree. In my playthrough, I did invite Cove to the soiree, obviously. If you don't invite Cove, if you go by yourself, then you will actually meet Baxter there. So it is possible to meet Baxter at age 13. Additional thing about Cove, or about Baxter. One other note about Baxter is there is some DLC coming up for him. I think in March, I believe, there's going to be Baxter-oriented DLC. Cove is much more attractive than Baxter. Does make me wonder what the does make me wonder a little bit how the scene differs if you met Baxter at the soiree. I assume he recognizes you. You were standing on the side as he was approaching from. When Baxter got close enough, he offered his hand to you first. You shook it. Baxter gripped your hand firmly to give a satisfying shake. Hi, Baxter. I'm Jamie. Hey, Jamie. I'm quite keen on getting to know you better this summer. We could be good friends. From your other side, Cove made a sudden sputtering noise. And you are? He lifted his hand out to Cove next. Cove shook his hand, still eyeing Baxter carefully. I'm Cove. Baxter's whole demeanor lit up for unknown reasons. His eyes shone as he studied Cove for a moment.
Really?
No, wait. Is that a nickname or your real name? Is that his voice? Apparently it is Elizabeth. It's just my name. Cove spoke mildly, having given that explanation many times in the past, but it clearly charmed Baxter all the same. He tossed his head to one side with a laugh. Your parents knew exactly what they were doing. I can't imagine a more fitting name for the face I'm seeing. Cove, that's gorgeous. Is he flirting with my boyfriend?
What?
It's really not. No, I agree. It suits you.
Not bad.
Nice to see someone else knows. The impact might have faded for you, living with it this long, but I promise to the onlooker it's a knockout. Cove couldn't face either of you after that. His cheeks were quickly turning bright red with embarrassment. You noticed that Baxter looked apologetic over Cove's increased discomfort. I'm sorry, it wasn't intended to mean more than it did. I like your name, but you don't have to mind that. I'm patently against stepping on anyone's toes. He chuckled to himself. It seemed like there was some extra meaning hidden there in his words, and you noticed that Cove raised an eyebrow, picking up on that too. Baxter didn't even open his eyes to see your faces to know he had some filling to do. He stood up straighter, striking a slight pose with the position of his feet. I'm a ballroom dancer, hence the phrasing. Oh, hey, Ryan. Hi, Ryan. So he's got that voice and he's a dancer. Oh, I don't know much about dancing, but that's pretty cool. It's not hard once you get the basics down. Cove didn't look convinced at all. Baxter took that as a cue to keep talking.
Well.
He grinned in a way that was rapidly becoming familiar to you. If either of you are ever looking for a partner, I'm available. Cove peeked at you, smiling softly. You felt his familiar touch as he squeezed your hand for a moment. I already have a partner. Jamie is the only one I'd want to dance with, sorry. They're my significant other. You're both together? Bi-King. He very clearly is a Bi-King, yes. Yeah, we are. Now that's crushing. But makes sense. I got here too late. Should have taken a semester off sooner.
I get it.
That's a joke. Really, I didn't mean to intrude on anything you have with the offer. F-boy Baxter. Gear him from Zelda? I'll take you up on that offer sometime. Cove rolled his eyes at your agreement coming right after his refusal.
Does that sound alright?
I really am qualified to give lessons.
Fine.
Yeah, it's fine. After that, there was a lull in conversation, and Cove attempted to fill it.
So...
What made you decide on Sunset Bird? Oh, yes, well, my parents rented a condo, so I had a place to stay while I'm off for a semester from college, and not living in the dorms. There was a playful glint in Baxter's eyes as he continued.
Honestly.
Ideally, they wanted me somewhere that wasn't too exciting. But lucky for me, they picked the wrong street, considering the two of you live here. Linda, it is a visual novel. It's a story that is told through static images and lots and lots and lots of reading. Baxter then preemptively lifted his hands up in front of his chest, giving the gesture for meaning no harm. He is a shameless flirt, and I kinda like it about him. Honestly, I like how much of a shameless flirt Baxter is, because he's just having fun with it. It's nice not to be the only one my age around the neighborhood for an entire summer. Nothing more. That was a story you had heard before. The same one as when Lonely Cove and his dad moved in all those years ago. Cove wasn't relating still. Annoy a lot of people. Just in case I don't like the reaction. His confidence remained rock solid despite the jab. I haven't had that experience yet, but anything is theoretically possible. Corey, you're just a dickwad. Fuck Corey. Fuck Corey. Has anyone named Corey not been a kind of a douche? Like, has anyone named Corey ever not been kind of a dick? Shifting his weight to his other foot, Baxter tried to move forward.
So...
Which condo is yours? How long have you been living together? Oh, no! Cove sputtered again, and, unintentionally, a laugh escaped you.
That's...
We're both your neighbors, but we live in different houses with our parents. Honestly, like, he was just a... Like, ooh, look at me, I'm rich, I get money, I'm cool, I'm great, I'm the best. He was just annoying. Like, Corey was just annoying. Corey in the house essayed a woman, did he? As if second nature, the two of you pointed to your homes, the buildings directly across the street from each other. Baxter's eyebrows raised at that. Your neighbors who started dating? What a couple of lovebirds! You're the backbone of romantic society! Baxter is so weird. Honestly, I hope you never break up. If you can make it work, there might be a chance for the rest of us. You knew Cove well enough to tell there was a little bit of amusement in his expression, but he sighed in exasperation. After that, you had no doubts about his claims of being complimentary. You shook your head at it. Too much again? Kind of. Well, if either of you are free, I'd be thrilled to hang out this summer. But we can save the schedule talk for later. I should get my things inside. He gave a small nod at the head and flashed you both a dazzling smile.
Goodbye.
Goodbye for today. Bye. Cove gave a small wave as well. Bye, Baxter. See you. Baxter then turned on his heels and strolled back to his suitcase, picking it up and bringing it to his condo. You and Cove were silent as Baxter unlocked the door and disappeared inside the house. With him completely out of the scene, Cove let out a long breath.
Well,
I don't know how I'm going to explain that guy to my dad. You burst into a fit of laughter trying to imagine the conversation. At least the job is done. We saw the new neighbor. Now we can go meet up with Terry and Miranda. Yeah, we should get going. Did I ever bring the mail to the mom? You gave Baxter's condo one last glance over your shoulder. You were looking forward to seeing more of him. Baxter was different, but you liked him. Smiling, you hoped that he would become a good friend this summer. Turning your attention back to Cove, you pushed all thoughts of Baxter aside. You both started making your way towards town. You took his arm. Smiling at him, you hooked your arm around his. Cove hummed happily in response. A little while later, you and Cove reached a main street in town. All of a sudden, you stopped walking. What's wrong? I think I heard my phone. You dug your cell phone out and looked at it with a satisfied grin. There was a new message. Before you could read it, you were distracted by a small amused noise from Cove. His head was slightly tilted to the side as he carefully looked at your old keychain. I can't believe you still have that. Parallel parking was the only driving I got right? How? I don't know how to parallel. How does anyone parallel park? You shouldn't be surprised. Really? Yeah, it was a gift from you. It's important to me. Cove looked away, blushing. He smiled warmly, likely remembering the day he bought it for you.
it's nice.
I'm actually glad you like it. He looked back at you with a playful grin. Especially since it cost me a whole $6. That's like $30 in kid money. His matter-of-fact tone had you laughing deep. It took several moments to compose yourself enough to speak. I didn't realize that was the going rate. It was then. Probably be more now. So you're trying to say that you were a big spender? In kid money, yes. I was definitely a high roller, remember? That had you both bursting into fits. Live in San Francisco, you will learn real quick. Tell me more, was it love at first sight? I was so good at the emergency stop, my instructor went through the window screen. Smiling, you refocused on the task at hand. You opened the new text from Miranda, and all you saw was, I can see you. Immediately from where you stood, you started swiveling your head around. You couldn't spot Miranda anywhere, but she did send you more messages. I saw you holding Cove's arm. Scandalous! How much due did he spend? The message was sent, and you were back to looking around, scanning for any sign of movement and familiar faces, but they were still invisible. Cove looked at you carefully, raising an eyebrow. You grabbed onto Cove again, wanting to show Miranda how scandalous you could be. At once, you hooked your arms around his neck, still holding your phone, and brought him even closer to you. He blushed and gave you a look mixed with amusement and confusion. Seriously, Janie? What did that message even say? Before you could even begin explaining anything to Cove, you both snapped your attention to the yelling from across the street. And there you saw Miranda and Terry coming out from behind the backside wall of the grocery store. They both started waving widely to draw even more attention to themselves. Oh. With their friend's grand entrance made, Cove seemed to realize the joke. He smiled with a sigh and let him go for the moment, chuckling. Cove took a step in their direction. Grinning, he put his hands around his mouth to better project his message across the street. Hey! Who is my favorite Amanda Show character? Case dismissed, bringing in the dancing lobsters. What the hell is the Amanda Show? Laughing an arm in arm, the girls stopped only to look both ways and then rushed across the empty street.
Hi.
I hope you weren't waiting too long.
Hey, buddies.
Hi. Hi. You were happy to see our friends. Their little tease on you is already long forgotten in your mind. Amanda fucking Bynes? Amanda Bynes show? She had a show? I had no idea she had a show. Terry then closed the distance between her and Cove and crushed him in a painfully tight hug. You're finally here! It's been so long! What took you? He did his best to eke out a reply with his chest being compressed.
Sorry.
Eventually, she let him go. Terry looked at him with a beaming smile, but Cove was distracted, rubbing his arms. Standing there, Miranda shifted her weight to her other hip. She watched Cove patiently with a bashful smile. Welcome back. Thanks. It finally felt official. Everyone was together in one place. From here, you weren't sure how often you would have another afternoon like this again. They didn't either.
So?
Cove. Terry poked Square in the chest. You're gonna have to get me your schedule by this time yesterday.
No way.
Not really possible, Terry, but I can say as soon as I know. So far, work hasn't said anything, but I can tell you I'm busy with Orca activities. When Cove wasn't at his part-time job, or pursuing his athletic and academic interests, he volunteered for the Oceanic Restoration California affiliation. Orca. The group focused on cleaning up beaches and removing pollution from the ocean. Cove always loved the sea. It didn't surprise you one bit when he started getting involved with them. Yeah, sure, you joined Orca too after learning of it. Why not? Their big smash event for the year is coming up, isn't it? Coming right up, isn't it? Yeah, there's not that much more to do before then, but I'm kind of looking forward to the fundraising push. Hopefully we can pull it off. If anyone can do it, it's you two. And even if it goes really bad, it'll still look good on a college application at least. That's true. Hey, guess what else? We don't have to stand here to say stuff. Let's go! I would like a meal now. Perking up, Cove nodded in agreement. Yeah, for sure. Habibi, the reason I came on camera for her was because I am better at wording things. If Chantal had tried to explain herself, like, she just would have failed. So I explained for her so that it would come out in a way that made sense. Better and more sincere person? That too. There is that, but The four of you headed into town, happily chatting the whole way. The only decision left to make was where exactly to stop and eat. The rest of the afternoon and evening passed by in a blink of an eye. When night fell, it was time to head home, and you parted ways with Miranda and Terry. You and Cove reached your neighborhood without event. It was late enough that your out-of-the-way street was dark and silent. You ambled along. With every step, you knew that your fate was being sealed. Your feet were going to be sore well into tomorrow. It was taking a lot of mental focus to keep up and walk alongside Cove. As you peered at his face out of the corner of your eyes, you wondered why he felt so distant to you. It was out of character. For a while, Cove silently stared ahead and left you alone with your own thoughts. It surprised you when you did hear his voice all of a sudden. He still wouldn't look at you. It feels weird coming back to the neighborhood and trying to get into things like they're the same. And they're not. They've changed. They're still changing. Your mouth felt uncomfortably dry all of a sudden. It was true. The things that kept the people you knew together were starting to disappear. Each person had to make their own priorities and their own path now that it wasn't set for them. You thought about your own immediate future. You were still set on that for yourself. You wanted... If it hadn't been for Cotton-Eyed Joe, I'd have been married a long time ago. Where did he come from? Where did he go? Aw, thanks, thanks, Sandy. Go to school full-time. And focus on time that's not school or work. And that was the basics. For your education, you thought you'd... Public university. For yourself, you wanted to work on self-improvement on your own and take some time just to relax. And for that, you wanted to local, abroad, or travel. I think my character's a homebody. I feel like my character is kind of a homebody. They like Sunset Bird. They like, you know, they like their quiet little town. Stay local. It'd all be happening so soon. You'd already applied to schools. And you'd been open about your situation and everyone knew. Now you wondered what Cove had in mind. You'd heard him consider some things for his future, but it was never anything that would have counted as a real plan. Making it back home, you both stopped in the middle of the street. Cove sighed. Cove looked at the ground for a moment. His mouth trembled, trying to settle on the right words to say. So, you're planning on relaxing for a while and stuff in Sunset Bird? Yeah. Cove closed his eyes and nodded while he composed his thoughts. He looked at you and he lifted his head.
I mean...
I decided on something. Well, kind of. Just scrolling. There's no way to make the characters hump. Hey, Harlem. He smiled slightly and rubbed his arm, and then his expression grew more serious. I'm not going to decide on a school or a career. Not this summer. I'm going to stay here, at least in Sunset Bird. I'll probably move out of my dad's place. I'll keep working my job, keep doing my volunteer stuff, and everything else.
I don't know.
Maybe I'll know what I want for myself by fall, or next year, or maybe I'll never have a plan. Life will continue on with whatever's happening. I'm not going to crush myself trying to have everything figured out by a timeline that someone else has set. I just can't do it. His brow furrowed, and his tone was tense. It was clear how much expectations were weighing on him.
I guess
it'll be me and you, right here for a while longer. His eyes were glossy. You weren't going to be separated, and that meant a very great deal to him. You were glad that the two of you would be in Sunset Bird together. Elated, you smiled. Cove looked relieved that you were happy with this turn of events. I'll see you tomorrow, Jamie. I'll see you. Night. He pulled you into an unexpected hug. It knocked the breath out of you, yet couldn't have been a more reassuring feeling. You returned his embrace and stayed that way for as long as you could.
Good night.
He finally let go, giving you another smile. Then Cove started walking away, but you remained there, frozen in the middle of the street. You watched him and wondered, how many more times will he be able to say that he'll see you tomorrow? You hoped for countless more times. Finally, you turned towards your own house. You vowed to yourself that you would make the most out of every moment you had this summer. And there we go. That is the beginning of the summer of being 18. And just want to check something. I know there is one more piece of DLC on the way. But I don't remember when. Second quarter. So, like playing a game? Sort of. DLC. Downloadable content. Just scrolling. It means downloadable content. Bonus stuff that you can buy to expand the story. Because I backed this game on Kickstarter, I get access to all the downloadable content for free. I don't have to pay for it myself. See, So yeah, it looks like around April to May. So it looks like second quarter. We'll get some Baxter DLC. Humble brag. Yeah. Ugh. All right. 2 hours, 42 minutes. This game is so long to play. This game over? No, boozing. Nowhere near over. We've got all this to go through. Each of these is like an hour, and each of these moments is at least an hour long. And then after that, there's going to be, I believe, age 23, I think, might be a little bit shorter than the other ages, I believe. But even after that, there is a wedding DLC. There's a wedding story, so yeah, there's still tons and tons to go, boozing. $24-hour stream? Nah. What is done for tonight is me. I am done for the night. What was for dinner? I just had chicken fingers, I just had chicken strips. Strips. Who does Liz marry? No idea if we see her. I have no idea if we actually see her get married or not. Like, I genuinely don't know if that's something that is content in this game. I don't know how the story progresses. Like, I don't know. I honestly don't know much more about the upcoming story than everyone else does. I don't know if Liz gets married. I don't know if any of the other characters stick around after age 18. I don't know. All I know is that you have the option of getting married to Cove. How much to never play this game again? More than you can afford, Sandy. More than you can afford. I like this game. I enjoy playing this game. And it's fun to play it on stream, frankly. So, nobody cares? I'm aware, Sandy. I know nobody cares about it. I know how few people enjoy watching it. I see that I get 30 viewers at a time. Believe me, I'm well aware that this game is not making me any money. Anyway, I gotta go treat the cat. I gotta go give her treats. So, I will, so I will be back tomorrow. I'm not sure yet what I'll do tomorrow. Honestly, not sure what I'm going to do, but I will be back. But for now, thanks for watching, and good night, everybody.